What if the nicest thing about you is the reason you keep losing? Imagine you're playing chess, but the other guy's using nunchucks. That's the world Machiavelli wrote for a reality where power doesn't care about your feelings, only your leverage. So here's the deal. In the next few minutes, I'm handing you 5 razor-sharp rules from a 500-year-old how to win when the game is rigged manual. Use them wisely, and you'll look dangerously smart. Use them recklessly. And, well, please don't tag me in the fallout. From Tutamine Fortuna. We're decoding the playbook princes, CEOs, and cunning creators still swipe from today. Buckle up, because when you stop assuming everyone's playing fair, you finally start playing to win. 2025 feels like a Renaissance city-state with Wi-Fi, chaotic politics, algorithm wars, performative ethics, and leaders smiling for the camera while sharpening knives off-screen. Machiavelli doesn't give you hope, he gives you diagnostics. He says, stop pretending the world is how you wish it was. Act on how it actually behaves. In a landscape of brand authenticity, quiet layoffs, and attention as currency, his realism is a toolkit. It's not saying be evil, saying don't get blindsided by people who aren't playing nice. If your workplace, feed, or government feels like a chessboard full of hidden queens, this is your crash course in not getting checkmated. Machiavelli wasn't born twirling a mustache. He was a civil servant for the Florentine Republic, negotiating with popes and mercenaries, watching power change hands like a hot potato. Then Medici come back. He's arrested, tortured, exiled. Out of a job, out of power, he does what any unemployed political nerd would, writes the prince. A brutally honest memo on how rulers actually rise and stay in charge. It wasn't even published until 1532, after he died. Meme culture turned his name into sneaky villain, but the guy also wrote the Discourses on Livy, praising republican institutions and citizen virtue. He's complicated, less Emperor Palpatine, more frustrated pragmatist with receipts. There are actually 2 Machiavellis sharing one Renaissance body. First, Machiavelli, the cynic, author of The Prince, who basically says, if you want to keep power, stop pretending you're in a Disney film. This Machiavelli recommends speed over sentiment, decisive strikes over dithering, and optics over oaths. Second, Machiavelli, the civic nerd, writing the Discourses on Livy, where he gushes about citizen armies, mixed constitutions, and laws that outlive their founders. That text reads like a constitution builder's field manual. So which is the real, scholars argue. Some say the prince is a deadpan parody. He exaggerated tyranny to scare people straight. Others insist he meant every syllable, but only for leaders facing existential threats. The clever answer, he's contextual. What you do in crisis differs from what you do in stability. Machiavelli isn't prescribing villainy. It's prescribing situational realism. Miss that tension, and you miss the point. He's not your devil on the shoulder, he's the guy whispering, check the weather before you sail. Core engines UE, pronounce it VR2, but forget halos, is tactical competence plus decisive courage. It's the toolkit that lets you bend chaos instead of being bent by it. Components, perception, preparation, decisiveness, adaptability, and narrative sense. In practice, is the founder who kills a vanity feature overnight to save runway. It's the activist who reframes a losing battle into a winnable cause. It's the manager who fires one toxic superstar to protect team morale, then explains it with surgical clarity. Machiavelli isn't grading your soul, it's grading your execution. He knew plenty of good people who were simply ineffective and got steamrolled. It says effectiveness first, but ideally in service of something worth protecting. It's a power drill. You can build a hospital wing or drill a vault. Your call. Core engine number 2, Fortuna. If it's your steering wheel, Fortuna is the road collapsing under you mid-drive. Machiavelli casts her as a wild river. Sometimes it waters your crops, sometimes it rips out your foundations. You can't command it, but you can engineer around it, dig channels, raise levees, stash lifeboats. Translation: build slack, diversify allies, hold cash reserves, cultivate goodwill before you need it. He also says Fortuna favors the bold up to a point. Wait too long, and the current decides for you. Charge blindly, and you drown. The trick is timed audacity. Strike when circumstances line up, retreat when they don't, and never confuse a win with permanent invincibility. Modern version, optionality. Don't lock yourself into one platform, one supplier, one narrative.
Algo.
When the algo changes, you shift. When a crisis erupts, you've rehearsed. Whining about luck is cheap. Designing around it is leadership. The most misquoted line ever? Better to be feared than loved. Ice and tea. Machiavelli. Smike drop it s half a sentence. The full idea? Aim for both. If forced, pick fear, but never cross into hatred. Why? Love is voluntary. Fear is predictable till it curdles into hate. Hate breeds plots. Fear without hatred is controlled voltage. Hatred is a live wire in a puddle. Context matters. It's talking to rulers juggling treacherous nobles and mercenaries, not to you in your Wednesday stand-up meeting. Still, the principle scales. Respect beats popularity. Consistency beats charisma. Don't humiliate people you'll need later. Set boundaries clearly and enforce them fairly once. Leaders who chase applause end up hostage to it. Leaders who rule by terror end up alone, then overthrown. Machiavelli's nuance. Stability greater than sentiment, but stability dies when resentment ferments. So yeah, quote him, but quote the hard part too. Enter Cesare Borgia, Renaissance boss battle. Son of Pope Alexander VI, he's Machiavelli's poster child for effective ruthlessness. Snapshot. Cesare grabs Romania, a region ruled by chaos. He hires a brutal enforcer, Ramiro de Orco, to crush disorders swiftly, savagely. Once things calm, Cesare stages a public show, Ramiro's body chopped in half in the town square. Message: I cleaned up the mess, and I punish cruelty. I'm the good guy now. That's narrative control, plus calibrated cruelty. Then he centralizes power, rewards loyalty, builds systems. Machiavelli swoons at the competence until fortune flips. Dad dies, enemies swarm, Caesar's empire collapses. Can ride fortuna, but can't leash it forever. Still, the playbook act decisively own the narrative. Remove liabilities, fast techos, and modern crisis management. Cold. Absolutely. Effective. Painfully. 1. Appear virtuous. Act effective. You don't need to be an angel, just look like one while you get results. Optics matter. Build a reputation for fairness so your hard moves are seen as necessary, not malicious. 2. Control the story, not just the situation. People believe narratives before they read reports. Frame events early. Announce the why before critics invent it. Transparency isn't weakness. Transparency is armor. 3. Calibrated cruelty. Rip the bandage once. If you have to make painful cuts, do them fast, all at once, then stop. Drip-feeding pain keeps everyone anxious and angry. Shock fades, resentment compounds. 4. Build institutions, not just influence. Personal charisma dies with you. Systems, policies, and alliances outlast moods. Machiavelli's Republican side screams. Set up rules that protect you and the mission. 5. Adapt faster than fortuna shifts. Measure reality, not your ego. If the market pivots, pivot. If your opponent changes tactics, don't stay the course out of pride. Flexibility is a competitive advantage, not a confession of weakness. Bonus law. Never create a powerful enemy you don't finish. Half measures breed revenge. If you must oppose someone, neutralize their ability to strike back or reconcile so well they choose not to. Lingering enemies are deferred disasters. These aren't be evil rules. Or don't be naive rules. Use them with purpose, or they'll use you. Is Machiavelli anti-ethics? Not exactly. He's anti-hypocrisy. He argues that leaders sometimes have to do morally gray things to prevent bigger disasters. Dirty hands for cleaner outcomes. That's consequentialism, not cartoon villainy. But his warning is implicit. If you're going to cross a line, you better be damn sure it's serving a genuine public good or at least a stable order. Otherwise, you're just rationalizing selfishness. Ethics aren't erased. they're complicated. Welcome to adulthood. Swap castles for boardrooms, coronations for IPOs, heralds for PR teams, the mechanics rhyme. A startup founder balancing burn rate and investor moods. A creator navigating algorithm shifts and audience trust. Same power calculus, perception, timing, decisive moves. Machiavellian thinking says, lead like reality, owes you nothing. Don't count on goodwill alone. Build coalitions, systems, and backup plans, or you'll trend today and vanish tomorrow. Kings had courtiers. You have comment sections? I manage both. Here's your ethical firewall. Pair Machiavelli's realism with transparent principles. Used to protect teams, not just yourself. Treat calibrated cruelty as a reluctant last resort, not a lifestyle brand. Instituting checks and feedback loops keeps you honest. Borrow from discourses. Empower others. Distribute authority. Make it hard for future you to abuse power. Realism's our responsibility beats not chaos. The goal isn't to out evil villains. It's to outsmart them and still sleep at night. Machiavelli equals reality over ideals. Done you, fearless effectiveness. Fortuna equals lux, flood prep levies. Fear versus love. Prefer both. Avoid hatred. Cesare Borgia equals decisive, narrative, savvy, luck rushed. 5 laws. Look good, control story, one-time pain, build systems, adapt fast, use power, don't let it use you. Your challenge. Audit one decision this week, the Machiavellian way. Where are you overly nice and under-effective, but cleanly, then stick around. Next up, Sun Tzu versus Machiavelli warrior poet meets political realist. This video will make you dangerously smart, Machiavelli.